Hello? Is there anybody out there? Uh-oh. Something's wrong with... Something's wrong. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. All right. Let's do this. Let's rock the Cosmo. Try that again, because I saw my lips rock the Cosmo. What a great way to start a podcast with enunciating rock the Cosmo. All right. Hi, Jackie. Hey, Debbie. Mark, Ann, Rose. Hey, guys. Welcome. 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 Bienvenido. Hola. Todo el mundo. Okay, so it's already 6:01. I clowned around for a whole minute so far. It's January 8th. Hey, Chris, Becky, Kathy, Ray, Dean, Rose. 6:01 on January 8th, 2021. What a great day. What a great day. Hey, Becky. Well, if you're me and you think like I think, and your mind is as twisted as I am, what a day you had. I mean, from the moment you woke up until right now, you have found something stimulating. Well, back up. Right. If you are as crazy as me, you found the news stimulating. Some of you may be prudent enough not to listen to the news, and you missed it. You missed it. And frankly, that may have been good you missed it, because it might have overstimulated you. I mean, it's jumping, baby. Yep. Joan says, yeah, I know, Jackie. Hi, Liza. Yeah, Trump got kicked off Twitter permanently. It's on my list of things here. We're here for our Friday night showers. Excellent, Debbie. In fact, oh no. So listen. I mean, oh my God, I woke up this morning. Here, let me calm down. Let me take a deep breath. I'm overstimulated. I'm overexcited. Okay, let me start over. I was jacked up. I ain't lying. I was completely jacked up. When I hit the go live button, I was already jacked up. So, a couple of deep breaths. Maybe we can do this like ladies and gentlemen instead of like kindergartners, all right? I'll do my best. So, Joan jumped the gun. She got me on Trump got kicked off Twitter. I mean, that's fine, the interaction. But that's like, I got to scratch that one off my list. I made my first list of stuff. My first list of stuff to maybe talk about. And Joan, right there at the top, Twitter, kicked off Trump, 88 million followers. Impressive. Kicked them off permanently. All right. So, back to what we were talking about already. I am in a good mood, aren't I? Yeah. The crazier it gets out there, Debbie, the more jazzed up I get. Oh, so Ray Dean's talking about we voted and we are the majority. Talking about Georgia, I'm guessing. I don't know exactly, because that happened 3 days ago, but I'll put it on the list. Georgia. So listen, I'm not kidding, man. Listen. Getting kicked off of Twitter when that was your primary method of communication for 5 years to a group of people that we're going to discuss. That's deep, man. I said yesterday, Facebook and Instagram had already suspended the account until the end of the month. And so this is really significant. And but it's not a topic to hash out. It was just kind of like make sure everybody heard it. It wasn't like I want to do a show about Twitter or social media or Trump getting bounced off it. So let me move along. What's really been interesting to watch today is his tweets are your entertainment most days. You feel a bit weird about it. Well, don't let go of that, okay? Don't grasp. Because if that's your entertainment most days, your life has been, well, I don't want to insult you, Joan. I'm afraid any word I could come up with might diminish that whole sense of entertainment and fulfillment. So I'll just leave it with there's probably something else you'll be able to fill the void with. So I've been waking up to news. And so I told y'all Fox News, for instance, on the day of the insurrection, actually sounded normal, sounded like any news station. There was significant reporting. There was significant references to the devastation and the immorality of it, the inappropriateness of it, the violence of it. And there was even enough blame going around, i.e., Trump was taking a share of the blame. You know, that ended the next day, and here's the thing. It's Antifa's fault. So here's a message from me, just from me. This is just Ken. This is, you know, the management takes no, what's that they say? This is not the sentiments of the management. The company disavows any investment in what I'm about to say. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. If you believe that the incursion into the Capitol the other day was a false flag, Antifa deal, then I've given this a great deal of thought. And the only thing I can come up with is, fuck, you're out of your mind. Jesus Christ. You're so fucking snowed under, you know. Your head is possibly so far up your ass all you can smell this shit. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, right? I mean, I would love to use my skills of persuasion. I would love to identify quickly a dozen ways that's just bullshit. But you know what? It's the time for that is gone. So if that is your belief, if today is you're watching me talk and you're wondering, is Ken my kind of guy? And you're the kind of person that thinks that Antifa was really leading the riot at the Capitol building, now you will know if Ken is your kind of guy. Fuck no. All right. So, I think it's really important that as we move forward, we understand the nature of reality. So the Buddha taught that reality, one of the primary concepts of Buddhism is impermanence, right? And so we grasp, we don't grasp, because that's Buddhism would say don't grasp. So we try to wrap our mind around the fact that all things are impermanent. Trump showing he's impermanent, I'm impermanent, you all are impermanent, okay? So, so you're wondering, how is that relevant? Well, because if you have a mind that is generating thoughts, and the thoughts you are generating are QAnon in nature, then it's possible that nothing Nothing will ever help you to recognize a reality. You're not living in a reality. I mean, there are rooms for alternate reality, so to speak, in some regards. Hallucinogens demonstrated to us that we don't always see everything that's around us. And then we would take a hallucinogen and we would look and we would see, I've not seen that before I took a hallucinogen. But in my heart, I know there is reality in that vision. This hallucinogen has exposed a seam in the fabric of life that was not available to me. And that reality is going on constantly, whether I see it or not. So there can be what I'm referring to as multiple realities, but there can't be totally opposing dynamic truths occupying the same space at the same time. And you know that because if you filled your bathtub with water and then you dropped something large and heavy into your bathtub, the water would flow over because you can't have these two objects occupy the same space at the same time. If you believe in QAnon, then you don't have room for a truth to occupy that space. Instead of filling your bathtub up with water, for instance, you filled it up with concrete, you let it dry, and then we came along with some truth in the form of anything, right? And tried to put it in your bathtub. Your bathtub was made of concrete because your brain solidified, and and so back to what I really want to talk about is there was so much information that's coming out about what happened during an assault on the Capitol. Tremendous amount of information that I didn't know existed, even as I was effusive about the ramifications of an assault on the Capitol by persons who were being encouraged, egged on, manipulated, and stimulated by Trump. So here's some of the stuff. I've been watching tape, and what's really clear to me. So the Anti-Defamation League, that's a Jewish organization that tries to monitor for anti-Semitic gestures in our population. The Anti-Defamation League tends to monitor publications and things where anti-Semitism may rear its ugly head. And when they see that, they will try to address it, publicize it, attack it if necessary. Well, the Anti-Defamation League was monitoring these upcoming event, the rally, and they recognized that the level of hate and violence was obvious, and so they reached out to the government repeatedly. They sent notices to federal law enforcement agencies repeatedly, asking them to investigate and to, intervene. And they've got nothing. So on Monday, they issued a letter on their own warning of the coming storm. So for any federal agency or anybody who is working security in relationship to this event, the information was clearly obvious. And I've been watching as they have been publishing various tweets and Instagrams and I don't know, Snapchats. I don't know the lingo of social media. My God, there were 14,000 violent posts on QAnon since January 1, preceding the rally. 14,000 since January 1st. There have been 279,000 post regarding this coming violence on TikTok. Now, I was unable to determine, hi Jenny, when those 279,000 posts began. I don't know if that's January 1st or that predates January 1st. 279,000 posts indicative of the coming violence, right? So there's no, you can't argue ignorance. You can argue a lot of things, but we're going to have to eliminate ignorance, all right? So then I'm watching these videos as I did the day of the event, and here's what I began to zoom in on. The numerous persons who were absolutely prepared for a violent encounter. Absolutely prepared. I even marveled at it and commented on it on Wednesday when I saw, so just before, I don't know what her name was, Ashley, the woman that was shot, just before she goes into the window and gets shot, there are people smashing glass and they're wearing combat fatigues. Some of them have on gas masks. When I go to rallies, I might take a gas mask if I was going to a Black Lives Matter rally or protest, because historically they're going to get gassed. So I might have a gas mask available. I don't know that I would start out wearing it, and I probably wouldn't be in combat fatigues. I don't think I'd, So there were so many people. I at one time on Wednesday, I was confused because I watched people going through windows from the exterior into the interior, and I thought they were SWAT police because of the way they were dressed. But it turns out no, they were just plain old rioters who were dressed for the occasion. Now, if you look at the rally, the videos of the rally, all this was ready to go. If you look at the post on social media and you look at the apparel, a lot of people came with the intention to commit significant acts of violence up to, I saw the post, killing police, security guards, and possibly public officials. Now, if you know this information, I mean, it's not hidden, it was in social media platforms, then if you have a police force of 2,000 and you only assign 500 to be on duty the entire time, so that 1,500 of them aren't even there. We're talking 500 to cover an area, significant area. You had no intention of stopping it. I don't believe for a minute that the Capitol Police Chief thought to himself, yeah, let him take over the Capitol. That would be good for my career. I think the reason he's resigning is because he woke up and went, oh crap, what just happened? Oh my God. He knew he screwed up. I don't think any of them realized that if those people left that rally and marched to the Capitol, that the next day the optics would be so bad that everybody who screwed up, from the Pentagon to the National Guard to the Capitol Police to the FBI, well, they all knew when they opened an eye and saw what had happened. They're like, oh crap, heads are going to fall, and they will fall. And enough heads probably won't fall, but a lot of heads will fall. So if you look at the video, now let's pretend, just because we want to humor the people who are hostile to Antifa. Oh, I see most people have turned me off. I probably have, maybe I offended some people already, I guess. No, I don't have a perm, Jackie. Is that what you were asking? Do I look like I have a perm? Oh, permanent bounce from Twitter. She just put the word perm. I didn't know what she meant. Anyways, I hope some of those people come back. because, there's some really important stuff going on. In the historical context, everybody who can hear me, anybody who will tune in, will find out, will recognize you just lived through an attempted coup of the United States of America, and the coup was perpetrated by the President of the United States and his followers. You just lived through an attempted coup by the President of the United States and his followers, up to and including a violent assault on Congress, a joint session of Congress. This is so freaking remarkable that if you aren't marking this date, that date, then I don't know. You got some really important stuff to go on. Okay, I think someone ordered him to stand back. Him being the chief of police of the security patrol. By the way, Ginny and I have talked about communication, because Ginny is a real good interactor. We talk a lot outside of this, and she said, why can't people call you? You can, Ginny, if you want to talk in real time. But of course, because of the nature of a podcast, a live podcast, any phone calls I would take from any of you would be short in duration. But I welcome the calls. Mark, what about violence at the inaugural? There's not going to be violence at the inaugural. I'll tell you why. Because they're super prepared now. They're hyper prepared. So a minimum of 500 troops have been assigned to the inaugural, to Washington, D.C. They're there today. I mean, this is what I'm reading. This is what I'm hearing. The troops that finally did arrive, they will now have weapons, and they will be stationed around the Capitol, around the White House, so that, and the FBI will be there in significant numbers. The Secret Service will be there in significant numbers. So the odds of somebody penetrating the inaugural is going to be, that's what we call a hard target. So the Capitol was a soft target. Just so let me explain. In the vocabulary of security, when you have the more protective devices and people that you put up, the more difficult you make it to penetrate. Easy to say, hard target. Somebody who's, let's say you're terribly rich, and and one of you is a housewife and goes out shopping and does stuff, la 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 la, and has no not social awareness, security awareness. That's a soft target, right? Easy to get to because they don't have a security detail. And so, on the one hand, somebody who's completely oblivious. On the other hand, somebody who has both the equipment and the personnel to make themselves a hard target. President of the United States is one of the hardest targets in the world, globally. The President of the United States. So, on inaugural day, Mark, Biden will be one of the hardest targets in the world. I promise that. If somebody breaches that, there'll be so many people out of a job the next day. I mean, you wouldn't, the Secret Service wouldn't survive what happens the next day. So I think that it's incredulous that we actually, I mean, if you knew on Monday that you were going to watch this coup a day and a half later, if you knew that while you were watching Ossoff and Warnock get elected, then you were really prescient. Because while I've been expecting something, I didn't know what form it would take. I'm not surprised by the form it took. But what I'm saying is, for me to have imagined that you could be incited to violence, and within minutes, you could have taken over the U.S. Capitol building while Congress was in session is, okay, I want to throw some adjectives in here, abso-fucking-lutely unbelievable. Can you believe that when every member of Congress was physically present, because when they do the Electoral College acceptance, you're supposed to be present, not Zoom, not proxy, not nothing. You're expected to be in your chair. It is one of the few days of the year that the entire joint session is taking place. And on that day, there was no security available to protect our elected representatives. Who could have imagined that? If you imagined it, you have a greater imagination than I do. So, and you know, they published the picture today. I didn't see it on Wednesday. Oh, wow. If you didn't see this photo, please listen to what I'm about to tell you. Black on black, gas mask, some other regalia, and hanging from, I believe, the sleeve were the plastic cuffs. Many. And the conjecture is, and I don't think anybody can come up with a better alternative explanation, is somebody planned on getting some hostages. Somebody planned on taking hostages. Now, he may have thought he was going to tie up Capitol Police to disable them so he can keep moving forward. Nobody ever showed up to a rally as a participant, ever showed up to a rally as a participant with a bunch of plastic cuffs. So this was you, everybody here just survived the first coup in the history of the United States that was organized, initiated, and executed by the President of the United States. Ponder that, man. I mean, if you're not awed, freaking awed at the bullet you just ducked, because we now know that within minutes of the incursion into the Capitol, we now know that Trump was calling his senator friends as the Capitol was being breached to ask them to subvert the process because he didn't trust Pence to do it. So he reached out with his phone. He was calling their cell phones. We know this because he accidentally called a senator who was not on that list. And that guy got the call, and he was present while Tuberville, or whatever his name is, was being told what needed to be done. The President of the United States fully, actively, and intentionally participate in an attempted coup of the United States of America 2 days ago. Fully, completely participated. And now there are people, friends of mine, friends of yours, who may be either on Facebook, maybe you've purged them Facebook, but you still know them. They are, as we speak, they are explaining away the coup. They're telling you it wasn't a coup. They're telling you it wasn't a riot. They're telling you here on Parler, okay? So President Trump came out and made a statement against the breach of the Capitol. He had to, right? He had to get out and he had to get in front and say, you know, I abhor what you're doing. It needs to stop. Yeah, right? if you now go to Parler or someplace, I don't know if it's still up, you will see people dissecting the video and explaining that it's a manipulation, that Trump never said that stuff, and in fact, it's not even Trump in the video. You know, in AA, we talk about if you want to stay sober, free from drugs and alcohol, you have to be willing to go to any lengths. Trump was willing to go to any lengths. You know? Wow. Kathy said, it was some time ago when she said it, that, you know, between the pandemic and politics, this is history, history, history. And I don't always know when I'm participating in history. I get intellectually every day, we're creating history. I don't mean to sound like an idiot, but I also know that monumental moments aren't always obvious to me until I'm looking back, right? Hindsight is 2020. And I just lived through a coup where a Supreme Court justice's wife, and I haven't been able to completely verify this, patted the patriots of the attack on the Capitol. She praised the justice of the Supreme Court's wife was praising the patriots. You got to let that sink in, man. There is so much bad stuff. And I live in Texas. And Texas is apparently the home. I don't know if he actually lives here because I've never seen him, but I'll assume he's got a house somewhere. Ted Cruz. Now, if Ted Cruz wins his election again, then, and I'm capable of moving out of Texas, I may do that. And that will encourage some people to vote for Ted Cruz, by the way, if I promise to leave. Ted Cruz is an embarrassment of a magnitude that even in Texas, he's an embarrassment. It's hard to be a right-wing embarrassment in Texas. It's hard to be crazy enough to be an embarrassment to Texas. We have people appointed to the Texas Education Board, which approves our books, who insist that evolution be removed from science books and replaced with the creation. You know what I'm talking about? Can you imagine? You're on the board, the state board, that approves and orders the books which will be used throughout the state of Texas. And you are so freaking crazy that you don't even know science. And in your mind, science should not be taught if it conflicts with your religious view of creationism. I mean, we got some crazy people. And Ted Cruz is one of those smart, sick, crazy, embarrassing people. And we will do what we can to oust him. But, you know, I'm not optimistic about, pulling it off. Liza says, and can you imagine the photos taken? They will be shown on anniversaries, and those idiots will be well known. That is a disgrace. Speaking of being well known, so the guy that sat in Pelosi's chair, if you didn't know, he's been captured. He's been arrested. A good number of these people will be arrested. In case you need some money, I heard the chief of police of the Metropolitan Washington, D.C. Police announced that there'll be $1,000 reward for each one of the persons whose pictures they post. If you're the subsequently can identify that person, help them to capture them, then you'll get $1,000. So have at it, kids. It's posted on the internet. So But the last thing I want to talk about, and then I want to talk about something nice and pleasant. I posted about the T-shirts. Most of you saw my post about the T-shirts. Some people seemed to be surprised when they saw the photograph. They either hadn't seen the photograph or they didn't understand the meaning. And so I just wanted, while I have a chance to explain, I want to drive it home that the T-shirt, 6 million wasn't enough. 6MWE was the Proud Boys and related groups saying that the death of 6 million Jews during the Third Reich was not enough. So, if you continue to think that these things are unreal, you have some alternative explanation. I said in my post, I welcome you to get in the boxcar that they want to load the Jews in like they did during the Third Reich in Germany. And hopefully, during the travels to your camp, where you will get to take showers and try on new clothes, that somehow in those final moments of your life, you'll grasp what we're talking about. It's just my sincere hope. I dislike anti-Semites. I think the T-shirt that Radine referenced in my post, that I tried to put in that same post, says Camp Auschwitz, and then it says work is freedom, I believe is the line. That work is freedom, or labor is freedom, is the sign which resides over Auschwitz. It's in German, and it was, intended to make people believe they were going to labor camps rather than to concentration camps, or really death camps. So, I know most of you aren't Jewish, and yet you're still find it abhorrent that they would do that, and that's good. I guess what I wanted to make sure is, if anybody didn't find that abhorrent, I don't know, may you die in your sleep tonight, I guess. So, but, there's a more lighthearted way to proceed, right? We really should be able to, have a better time. I mean, there's got to be something to life besides
they were put on hold
besides the coup and all of that, right? So in case you weren't willing, I did it for you.
Well, hello there.
Hello, hello.
Hey, I've got a question for you. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
That makes sense.
It certainly does.
I've got a friend who's a...
All right.
Oh.
I hope that you enjoyed that little music break. I hope you could hear it, because I have no ability to hear what you're hearing. I guess I'm supposed to wear headphones, and that would give me a heads up. But I think that we all need the woodchuck song. And I used the woodchuck song because when I heard about the Twitter news, I wrote how Twitter could a tweeter twit if a Twitter could tweet twits. And I thought, well, now what does that sound like? How much wood could woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And then I remembered rubber baby buggy bumper, rubber baby buggy bumper, rubber baby buggy bumper. Because most people can't say rubber baby buggy bumper, rubber baby buggy bumper, rubber baby buggy bumper. But I can. So I hope you will enjoy that little post. The link is in the show post. Yeah, Kathy, T-shirt sure is disturbing, isn't it? Yeah. I've grown up with this my whole life. Let me be really clear. South side of Chicago is full of anti-Semites. So nothing about anti-Semitism, surprises me, doesn't shock me. When I found out what the T-shirt represented, because I didn't know at first, when I found out, I was like, oh my God, wow. These persons, these white supremacists, which are the core of the Trump support, okay? The bulk of the aggressive Trump supporters, I'm not saying 70 million supporters are all white supremacists, just most of them, but at the core, this nucleus is white supremacy. That's why you don't see people of color there. It's white supremacy. And so when you see white supremacist slogans, and all white supremacists are anti-Semitic. Every hate group that's been identified as a white supremacist group throughout the United States, there's over 200 of them, has also an agenda of hating Jews. It's not enough to hate black people and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. You have to sign on to hate Jews. Now, occasionally you have somebody like Stephen Miller, who has crafted our immigration policies on behalf of this administration. Now, he's a self-loathing Jew. And so if you don't know any self-loathing Jews, one of the key indicators is a Jewish person who harbors hostility towards persons of color and or Jews, right? Because you simply, again, remember the bathtub filled with concrete, okay? So just as you cannot, just as the concrete in your bathtub would not be permeable, you couldn't pour water in, the water goes down into it, right? You can't fit Semitism and white supremacy together. So if you adopt white supremacy, then almost by definition you've said you must be anti-Semitic, even if you're a Jew. It's no way around it. It's just real. So I know some Jews, I've met Jews in my lifetime, who said words like nigger and stuff like that, and I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, really? You think that you have any way to denigrate people of color being Jewish? Wow, man. Because why don't you join the Klan and see how they dig you, baby? Why don't you join, back then, the John Birch Society? Why don't you join the Proud Boys? Tell them what a great Jew you are, that you're a white supremacist. See how they love on you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, Eliza, there's Mexicans hate Mexicans, Puerto Ricans hate Puerto Ricans, blacks who hate blacks, Jews who hate Jews. Kathy, Hyde Park was almost in many ways an island that was so, the anti-Semitism there was sporadic, it was almost invisible. But I moved to Hyde Park from South Shore, and I can tell you the difference between South Shore, 10 minutes away from Hyde Park, where I was victim of tremendous anti-Semitism. I was chased, I was called Christ killer, I was called Jew boy, I was called kike, I was beaten regularly or chased regularly. I was beaten unconscious in an effort to kill me as a sophomore in the South Shore High School swimming pool. So I was intimately acquainted with anti-Semitism. I was so happy to arrive in Hyde Park, 10 minutes away. When my parents moved there and I started hanging out there and nobody was picking on me for being Jewish, man, was I one grateful son of a bitch. Oh, boy. So anyways, I used up my time. I just, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to being a witness, being, in a sense, a participant in the coup attempt. I say a participant. As a citizen of this country, we were all participants in some way, shape, or form. Our participation may simply have been as observer. Obviously, none of you were at the rally. None of you attacked the Capitol. So that's I don't mean participant in that sense. What I do mean is that You are a participant in this historical week. You were witness. A witness is in many ways a participant. Okay? And you all stood on the right side. You all recognized the peril. You all recognized the origins, and you all recognized the immorality of it. They're talking now, by the way. Most of you have probably know this. They found that these people took, they went to the toilet all over the Capitol. They left feces and urine behind throughout the building. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, Eliza, as an observer, I certainly didn't mean to suggest that your participation, that you just came back with tear gas oozing off of your clothes and, thinking to yourself, oh, boy, that was a good rally. So, by the way, as I wrap up and we do some meta now, I've gone over, I do want to say that, this ain't over. There's going to be some turbulence. You know how when the captain says fasten your seatbelt, put your seat in the upright position, and then you go through turbulence and it gets kind of mellow, and you think it's over and you're waiting for the seatbelt sign to go off. You're wondering why the captain hasn't turned off the seatbelt sign, because the captain's aware that you're only in a quiet spot. There's more turbulence ahead. Keep your seatbelts fastened. All right, let's do some meta. And don't forget to listen to the woodchuck song. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I put the answer, by the way, in my opening. If you go to the link, I actually put in an analysis based upon a study of woodchucks as to how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. All right. My hands before my heart, my eyes are closed. I take a deep breath. I set a good intention for the remainder of the evening, and I think to myself, and I encourage you to do so, may I be happy, healthy, free from harm. May I be free from anger, anxiety, and fear. May this practice of ours lead to a life of greater peace and comfort. May my mother and father, all my family members, and all my friends be happy, healthy. May they be free from all harm and suffering. May they too find the path that brings them to a place of great peace and comfort. May those persons that I have difficulty with, could even be a moron with a t-shirt that says 6M NE, okay, or WE, excuse me, all right, even them. I can at least once a day generate loving kindness for all these persons and say, may they be happy, healthy, free from harm, living lives of comfort and joy. But I save the best for last. That in conclusion, I invite you to let flow from your heart goodwill to all living beings wherever they may be, in whatever forest, under whatever rock, whatever they may be, humans, non-humans, right? Let us illuminate so they may feel the warmth of our compassion. May they be happy, healthy, free from harm. May they be living lives in safety, comfort, and peace. Satu, Satu, Satu. Liza says, may you all be safe and enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Liza. Kathy, thank you. Mark. You're welcome, Mark. Please give my regards to Anne if she's there with you. I don't know if Ginny and Debbie are still there. Yeah, Debbie's there. Good night to you. May you be happy and have a good weekend also. And if Ginny's still there, She had the best of weekends. Rose, Kathy, there's so many of you. I really enjoy, Chris and Becky and Jackie and Ray Dean and Joan. And, I know a lot of people are gone. 45 minutes, man. Yeah, that's asking a lot. But whether you spend 5 seconds or 45 minutes with me, the perfection in me acknowledges the perfection in you. Peace out.